The speed of the digital computer is more than analog computer. The hardware components are fixed inside the cabin and it is fixed outside the system. The storage capacity of microcomputer is in terms of terabyte, that is TB. Here we are going to get two types of software, that is system software and application software. Hello everybody, a warm welcome to my new session. We are on the third session of overview of a computer. I am Revati, faculty, Department of Computer Science, Vidhyaashram, first grade college, Mysuru. Let's discuss the agendas of today's session. In the today's session, I'll be explaining the difference between analog computer as well as digital computer. At the same time, I'm going to deal with the difference between microcomputer and mini computer. At the same time, I'm going to deal with the difference between supercomputer as well as mainframe computer. And at the last, I'm going to deal with components of computer system. Before going to start my today's session, let me to recall the things which I discussed during my last session. In the last session, I discussed the applications of computer, then I discussed the different types of computer system with respect to operation as well as configuration. There we studied what is analog computer, what is digital computer. Then we studied what is hybrid computer. Then we studied mini computer, what is microcomputer. Then we studied supercomputer as well as mainframe computer. Dear students, today's class I'll be dealing with the difference between analog computer as well as digital computer. Let's discuss the difference one by one. So what is the first difference with respect to analog computer? Here the analog computer works with the continuous value. That means continuously varying value. Here analog computer is going to work with continuously varying value. For example, width, height, frequency, voltage, etc. Whereas digital computer deals with discrete value. Discrete value, that means it is going to deal with discrete value in the sense zeros and ones. Here this digital computer is capable to work on discrete electronic signals. Moving on to the next difference with respect to speed. The speed of the analog computer is very, very low. Whereas the speed of the digital computer is larger than analog computer. So I repeat, the speed of the digital computer is more than analog computer. The next difference with respect to memory capacity. So in the analog computer, the memory capacity is very low and it is very limited. That means it is possible to store only a limited data and the memory is provided by this system is very low. Whereas in digital computer, the memory capacity is high. That's why it is possible to store large amount of data. Next difference with respect to states. In analog computer does not have any state because it is mainly based on the continuously varying signal, whereas digital computer will have two states, that is on state and off state. On means what? It is high, that means 1, whereas off means what? It is low and it is 0. The next difference is with respect to analog computer. The analog computer depends upon the physical variation. That means frequently varying value or frequently varying signals. Varying signal means what? As I discussed, it may be a voltage or it may be a frequency or it may be a height and width. Whereas digital computer does not depend on the variation of any physical element. In digital computer, it does not depend on physical variation. The next difference in analog computer here is the analog computer is going to display or show the result in terms of voltage signals. Whereas in digital computer, the result is displayed on the display screen. Moving on to the next difference of analog computer. These analog computers are mainly designed for specific purpose. That means these analog computers are mainly used for some specific purpose. Whereas these digital computers are used for general purpose. The some of the example for analog computers are, it is analog clock and thermometer. Whereas some of the example for digital computer is digital watch, digital camera, digital laptop, etc. Moving on to the next topic, that is the difference between microcomputer and mini computer. Dear students, anyway, we studied these topics in the last session, but I'll be discussing the difference between these two topics. That is microcomputer and mini computer. Let's see the difference one by one. So what is the first difference? The microcomputer was introduced or proposed in 1960 and that is used for general purpose application. Moving on to mini computer, it is introduced or developed in the year 1970 and that is mainly designed for operating businesses and scientific application. Dear students, moving on to the next difference of microcomputer, it uses single processor. That means microprocessor uses single processor and all the operations, that means all the arithmetic operations, it may be addition, subtraction, multiplication and division is carried by one single processor. Whereas moving on to the mini computer may have multiple processors. The next difference of microcomputer, that is with respect to storage capacity. The storage capacity of microcomputer is gigabytes. Whereas the storage capacity of microcomputer is in terms of terabyte, that is TB. Okay, the next difference with respect to application. So the microcomputers are mainly used for word processing, managing database or spreadsheet, graphics and general office application. Moving on to the microcomputer. Microcomputers are designed and it is primarily used for process control, performing financial administrative tasks and word processing and accounting. Mini computers is also used in the fields like process control, then financial administrative tasks, then word processing, then accounting. The last difference with respect to microcomputer. Here microcomputer is cost effective and easy to use. Whereas mini computer is costly and it is very difficult to use. These are the few differences between mini computer as well as microcomputer. Dear students, moving on to the next topic. Here we are going to discuss the difference between supercomputer and mainframe computer. Dear students, let's see the difference one by one. What is the first difference? Here supercomputers are used for large and complex mathematical operation. So the supercomputers are mainly designed to solve complex mathematical operations. So it is mainly used in scientific and research field. Moving on to the supercomputer, the supercomputers are used as store large database and serve as maximum number of users simultaneously. So here mainframe computers are designed to store large databases and it is used by many users. Moving on to the next difference with respect to supercomputer. Here supercomputer speed is more than mainframe computer. That means the execution speed is more compared to main processor because it may have multiple processor. So multiple process can able to execute the jobs simultaneously. Because of that, the speed of the computer is very high. So the speed of the execution of the instructions are measured in terms of billions instructions per second. In mainframe computer, the execution speed is comparatively low than supercomputer. So the execution speed is measured in terms of millions instruction per second. The next difference, that is supercomputers are larger computer. In size, it is a larger computer. Whereas mainframe computer, the size of the mainframe computer is smaller than supercomputer. The supercomputers are the most costliest computer in the world, whereas mainframe computers are cheaper when compared to supercomputer. The next difference here is supercomputers have Linux and their variant operating system. That means here supercomputers comes with Linux operating system flavor, whereas your mainframe computer may have multiple operating systems simultaneously. That is dual operating system. The next difference here is supercomputer can have processing speed in the range of 100 to 900 Mbps, whereas the processing speed of mainframe computer is 3 to 4 bits per second to 100 bits per second. I repeat, in supercomputer, the processing speed is 100 to 900 megabits per second, whereas in mainframe computer, the processing speed is 3 to 4 megabits per second to 100 megabits per second. These are some of the difference between supercomputer as well as mainframe computer. Moving on to the next topic, that is component of computer system. So here computer system is a collection of entity and that is responsible for receiving, process, manage and present information in the meaningful format. I repeat, a computer system is an entity that is designed to receive the data, process the data, then manage the data and present the processed, managed and stored data in some meaningful format. Dear students, you may get the question, then which are the different components of computer system? The different components of computer system, here it is hardware, software, data and user. Dear students, let's see the components one by one. So what's the first component? That is hardware. Okay, what is hardware? Hardware is the physical part of computer system. That means you can able to touch, you can able to feel and you can able to sense. I repeat, it is a physical part of computer system. Here the hardware components can be seen. It is possible to see and you can able to touch and you can able to feel. Dear students, the hardware components are fixed inside or fixed outside the computer system. That means the hardware component may be present inside the computer system or it may present outside the computer system. The hardware devices are required for input, output, storage and process of the data. I repeat, the hardware components are required to input the data and it is mainly required to output the data and it's mainly required to store the data and it's mainly required to process the data. So some of the example for hardware components are keyboard. Keyboard for input the data, whereas mouse is also for input the data, whereas monitor and printers are used for output. Whereas RAM is used for storage and CPU is used for processing of the data. So here hardware component is a computer's physical part. It is possible to see, touch and sense. So some of the example for hardware components are keyboard, mouse, monitor, printer, RAM, etc. Moving on to the next component, that is software. What is software? Here software is a collection of program or set of program. I repeat, software is a collection of program or set of program is known as software. So here software is a computer program and it is written by using some computer programming language. That means here software is a computer program and it is designed or developed by using C, C++, Java, .NET, Python, whatever it may be. So software is a computer program that is written by using some computer programming language. Example for computer programming language here are C, C++, Java, etc. Dear students, software is designed in such a way that software is going to instruct the hardware that what to do. That means what are the tasks want to be performed. So here software tells the hardware what to do. Unlike hardware, it is not possible to touch software. So the hardware present in the computer system cannot perform any task on its own. I repeat, the hardware present on the computer system, they cannot perform any task by own. So to perform the task, the hardware required the instruction. That instruction is given by the software. Now, software is responsible for instructing the computer system that what are the tasks to be carried out. So, example for software is operating system, office package, NUDI, Adobe Reader, computer games, etc. These are the example for software. So, software is nothing but a set or collection of programs. It is written by using some of the computer programming language. Software is responsible for instructing the hardware. Some of the examples for software is operating system, office package, NUDI, etc. Moving on to the type of the software. Here we are going to get two types of software, that is system software and application software. What is system software? Once again, it is a type of computer program. I repeat, a system software is a type of computer program. So system softwares are mainly designed to run computer hardware and application program. I repeat, the system softwares are mainly designed to run computer hardware as well as application program. So here system software is act as a interface between hardware as well as application program. So system software is designed mainly to manage the computer itself. Dear students, please remember that your system software always runs in background. I repeat, your system software is always runs at background. Whereas your application softwares are runs at front end. System software provides a platform for application software to run on top of. Dear students, please remember that all your application program runs at front end. Example for system software is all the operating systems. That means it may be Windows, or it may be Linux, or it may be Mac OS, or it may be Android, etc. So I repeat, here system software is a computer program that is mainly designed to run computer hardware and application program. So it acts as an interface between computer hardware as well as application program. And some of the examples for system software is all the operating system, that is Windows, Linux, Mac OS and Android. Dear students, the next topic, it is application software. What is application software? Here application software is a software written by the user to perform some particular task like drawing a picture, playing computer games, etc. Dear students, application softwares are designed based on the user requirement. So some of the example for application software is Paint, MS Office package. Dear students, moving on to the next topic, that is next component, that is data. What is data? It is a collection of unprocessed or raw fact. It is a collection of unprocessed data, or it is a collection of unprocessed item. So here data may be text, number, audio or video. Some of the example for data is text or numbers or audios or video. What is the primary job of the computer? The primary job of the computer is to convert the data into some meaningful information. I repeat, the job of the computer is to convert the data into some meaningful information. Here data is nothing but raw fact. So here data is a raw information or raw fact or basic fact that can be processed by the computer. Now consider the example. Here param and 16 are the unprocessed data. After processing data, that means the computer processed data is called information. Whatever the data which is processed by the computer is called information. So computer processed data is called information, which gives the meaning, which gives some particular meaning. So here information gives some particular meaning. Consider this example. Now param equal to name. That means param is of type name. That means character type. Whereas age is 16. So age is of integer. It is a number. So after processing data, it gives some meaningful information. So by seeing this one, anyone can easily identify, okay, the name is param, whereas age is 16. The data can be organized into files. Data can be organized or arranged in terms of files. And data is stored using binary number system. I repeat, the data are stored in the binary number system. Why? Because machine can able to understand only zeros and ones. So binary number system means what? It is a binary representation of data. So here data is a collection of unprocessed data. After processing the data, it is converted into information. So information means what? It gives some meaningful information. And all these data are stored in the computer system in the form of binary number system. Dear students, moving on to the next component, that is user. I hope all are familiar with user. So user is also called end user. So user is nothing but a people who uses the computer system. The person one is going to use the computer system is called user. And these computer operators are called computer users. If there is one person, user. If there are more than one person, then they are called computer users or computer operator. So users are the one who is going to operate the computer, at the same time going to write the program. I repeat, the users are the one who is going to write computer program and interact with the computer system. The role depends on their ability. So install the application, set up the system, configure the system, maintain the system. So the computer users depends on their usability. The one person who is very interested and very intelligent in installing software. The user role depends on their ability. So one is good at in installing software, one is good at in managing files, one is good at in configuring, one is good at in network, one is good at in programming, etc. So users are the people, one who going to use the computer system is called computer user. Dear students, today's class we discussed the difference between analog computer and digital computer. At the same time, we discussed the difference between mini computer and microcomputer. Then we discussed the difference between mainframe computer and supercomputer. At the same time, we discussed the different components of computer system. So the different components of computer systems are hardware, software, data and user. Dear students, in the next session, I am going to discuss block diagram of a computer. Dear students, from the examination point of view, component of the computer system is very, very important. Dear students, this is all about today's session. Let's meet in the next session. Until then, take care. Thank you.